Author Napoleon Hill said, "No man can succeed in a line of endeavor which he does not like." Initially, when I was introduced to this theoretical concept by Mr. Hill, I conceded with his critical analysis on mortal restriction. And I'm poised to believe that the majority of you are also in agreement with him too. Being the intellectual, level-headed individuals we are, rationality would suggest that people are suppressed from being successful in something they do not like. However, when I reintroduced myself to Napoleon's philosophy, I had to recant on my initial thought. Yes, it is logical to certify the idea that people cannot be successful in something they do not like. But what about the people who are successful in spite of the fact they do not like what they do? So I'm thinking, how can this be? How can someone be successful in something they do not like? I was scratching my head so hard I gave myself a part. I just didn't understand. I couldn't comprehend. Then out of nowhere, the sky cracked and a heavenly light channeled directly above me, carrying 3 words in the form of a question. Well, it didn't exactly happen that way, but you catch my drift. The question was, what is success? Yeah, what is success? Is success the number displayed in the bank account? Is success the amount of material possessions one can purchase with that number? What is success? Oftentimes, when we see someone with the socially honorable job, when we see someone with the fancy car, when we see someone with the name brand garments, when we see someone who happens to live in a gated community, we're socially programmed to believe their social prestige equates to success. What is success? The more I think about this question, the more I realize there is a public perception and a private perception attached to success. Public perception is when the public determines whether or not you're successful based off the following: what you do for a living, what you're driving, what clothes you wear, who you're dating, where you're living. The public can only gauge your success based off of what they see externally. A private perception is when the internal truth is revealed. This is when an individual may look successful from the outside, but in all actuality, they don't even feel successful. I know. How can a man, for example, who is straight ballin', swag out of control, driving nice, girls a dime piece, plickety plow, bam, not be successful? Because they're not happy. Italian Renaissance painter Leonardo da Vinci said, "While I thought I was learning to live, I have been learning how to die." No matter how much money you make, you can't buy happiness. No matter how nice your car is, you can't drive over depression. No matter how big your house is, you can't use it as a safe haven to throw away your sadness. Society teaches us that we live according to what we attain, and that is far from the truth. Don't get me wrong, I'm not speaking against material possessions like any other man. I want to be paid, I want to drive nice, I want to dress fly, I want a nice home. In addition to these material possessions, I also want a beautiful wife with a big backside. But if I'm not doing what I want to do, what I love to do, regardless if I have a high-paying job, it'll eventually become a miserable job. My fancy car will eventually become a miserable car. My big house will eventually become a miserable house. Consequently, I'll even run the risk of making my relationships miserable too, because I'm not doing what I want to do, what I love to do. I'm not happy. I understand that sometimes we may have to go through some doors we'd rather not go through in order to get to the door we want to go through. We may have to occupy some preliminary positions in order to seize the permanent position. Understand it may take some time to awake from the dream and live the reality. I understand. But when you reach the twilight of your life, do you want to reflect upon a life that chose to play it safe or chose happiness? Oftentimes, we're pressured to choose the foolproof career path, the career that we're really not interested in, except for the financial security it provides. There's a huge percentage of people in the workforce who are not happy with what they're doing. A recent study by the Conference Board Research Group found that only 45% of Americans are satisfied with their work. That was the lowest percentage ever recorded in over 2 decades of studying this issue. The study also went on to note that one of the reasons workers have grown steadily more unhappy was due to the fact that fewer workers consider their jobs to be interesting, which insinuates over half of Americans fail to find their jobs interesting. That's a problem. Now, there are many confounding factors that contribute to this statistical data. Nonetheless, you cannot tell me that one of the factors is not due to a decision that chose playing it safe over taking a chance. To quote my cousin Ronnie Love Jones, do what you love, not what you have to do. Not what your family tells you to do, not what your friends tell you to do, but what you want to do. What you love to do. That is success to me. While discussing my answer to the question, what is success with my father, like always, he challenged me and said, well, what about the people who do what they claim they love yet are still unhappy? So now I'm back to square one. What is success? To be continued. This is Eric T. Jones. Have a blessed day.